Шановні пані та панове, президент України Володимир Зеленський.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky, the head of the Parliament of Ukraine Ruslan Stefanchuk, the Prime Minister of Ukraine Denis Shmyhal, the head of the Presidential Office of Ukraine Andriy Yermak, and Mikhailo Fedorov.
Рік, що все почав.
A year which began everything. The state should be for the human being as a service, as a convenient one. In the capital we have presented and we have the opportunity to use the digital passport. Ukrainian Diia is overcoming the whole world.
It's called Diia.
Казали відео не прикладати, наприклад.
Нічого не казали. Водних не було.
Ну таке часто просто.
Дія поруч.
Diia is close to you.
Шановні українці,
Dear Ukrainians,
та іноземні гості.
our
Вітаємо всіх.
foreign guests, we welcome all of you, the guests of the summit, and every single person who is watching us online. The previous Diia Summit has taken place in Ukraine before the full-scale invasion, but the digital state has stood for it and went on with its development. Our communication has become more powerful, and we've decreased the number of bureaucratic obstacles. Thanks to Diia, everything is very precise and understandable. And today, the team of Diia is presenting again the new convenient services. For the opening of Diia Summit, we give the floor to the President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky. Glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. I welcome all of you, and I'm happy because really, this closer to the end of the year, we in these bright conditions, and it's very important. We may speak not about blackouts, but about the totally opposite topic, about our state digital services, which really are working and developing and proving obviously what Ukraine is capable of and what all of us Ukrainians are capable of. Our resilience, the resilience of our state, of our society, is the global and significant example. The example that when the people are working, really working for the sake of their state, the outcome is always incredible. In particular, now, under the conditions of the full-scale war against this invasion, we are protecting Ukraine, protecting it every day. We are providing export of our Diia, our architecture of digital services to other countries. And undoubtedly, this is success. This is really powerful. Not that many states in the world are ready to export their own digital solutions, which have significance for the whole society. Diia is really an inseparable part of our life. The societal tool, not just a set of certain digital state services in the smartphone or at the portal. The sense is wider. Diia is the tool which is helping a human being, a person, to have the state in his or her subordination for every single citizen. Minus state officials, minus bureaucracy, minus any discomfort, plus there are certain dignities, and they are important. The use, a very specific use for a human being, for a person. Now I'd like to thank the whole team of our state for that, which is working for Diia. Guys and ladies, really, that is good work, and I'm proud of you. I'm proud of this outcome. We all in Ukraine have the full right to be proud of our Diia. Let us support the team of Diia. The whole team, I welcome you, I congratulate you, Mikhailo, and our users, 20 million of our citizens. That's the powerful outcome. So 4 years of Diia, and two of them, almost two of those four, as it was mentioned in the beginning of our meeting, the full-scale war. Diia has stood against it, and it is increasing, expanding. It will become even more stronger. Today, I'd like to introduce several very important outcomes and new opportunities for Diia. Now, Diia, thank you, that is already 14 digital documents in your smartphone and over 130 online services, from the first in the world digital passport to the construction services and all Ukrainian surveys. Now we have the people who maybe don't even remember how it used to be, to live without Diia. And the state as a service is the logical development of all of the state systems of the world. During this war, the digital services proved not only their reliability, but that the state service, under any conditions, can stay human-centered. So now in Diia, we have services for the internally displaced people, the e-Oselia or e-house or e-recovery, the purchase of military bonds, and the e-enemy program, which allows every single person to help the defense and security forces of Ukraine. The help on unemployment, the reimbursement of investments, and the extractions from the state registers, and even the service of vehicle sharing, where the person, wherever he or she is, the state is close to him and her. Each of more than 130 online services in Diia means that we got rid of more than 130 opportunities to take a bribe. And it's a positive effect, which is measured in billions, really billions, which Ukrainians have saved for themselves, and which our society was able to make to earn additionally thanks to digitalization. Of course, during the peaceful time, it obviously will be even more. Diia will become one of the services providers of our recovery, the recovery of Ukraine. In March 2022, we've launched the first digital service of recovery, and more than 500,000 of Ukrainians provided notifications about the damaged property, and now it's already a huge amount. The whole scale of recovery will be even bigger. So now Diia is providing a rapid, convenient, and honest format of submission of application process for the reimbursement for the destroyed property. For instance, a house or an apartment, and to get compensation for that, which is already working. Already this year, almost $1 billion of hryvnia will be paid to the families for the recovery of the damaged property by war. Of course, it's only the beginning, but this is the working start of the system. Together with the support of the partners, with the opportunities of our country, we will provide the all-Ukrainian result, an outcome. The second stage of e-recovery program. This is the recovery of property which was destroyed. Everything starts with the application and forms with the formation of the certificate, an accommodation certificate. And now its average size is 2 million hryvnia. And this is the service which we are now launching, the exchange of the certificate in Diia for accommodation. Now it will work online. This week is the starting one, and later this service will be upscaled. Another revolutionary service is what already makes us free from bureaucracy and all of the citizens and millions of people. Today, at midnight, we'll have an online service working of the sales and buying of vehicles in Diia, of cars in Diia. I congratulate you with that. Just in 15 minutes, you'll be able to buy or to sell a car through your smartphone and to get a new technical registration document and the plate by, post. Today, our government officials will present that in details. It may sound that they sound mundane in 4 years of the work of the services, but the fact that we are in Ukraine and we are doing that even now during such a war tells the whole world about us. The totally specific and precise things. We are capable of doing much more than many people in the world, much more than it is expected from us. We are Ukrainians, and when we are sure, when we are self-confident and we are working for our societal interests, for the sake of our state, then we are achieving the result, which is showing the example for other people, countries, leaders, societies. We believe in our own forces. We defend and protect our own state. We are working for the sake of our state. And we are acting. And this is the most important, that we are acting every day, every minute for the sake of Ukraine. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to the heroes. Thank you.
Дякуємо президенту України за
Thank you,
участь
the
у
President
Дія
of Ukraine,
Саміті.
for the participation in Diia Summit.
Дякуємо, пане президенте, що розділяєте важливість цифровізації країни та маєте рішучість зробити життя українців комфортним та легким. Запрошуємо на сцену голову Верховної Ради України Руслана
Верховна Рада
Стефанчука.
of Ukraine. Mr. Stefanchuk. Dear Mr. President, dear Mr. Prime Minister, dear people's deputies of Ukraine, members of Parliament of Ukraine, members of the government, and dear friends, first and foremost, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity that I am honored to participate in this great summit. And this is the approach to demonstrate every time that we are making progress, regardless of the circumstances. This is very inspiring. And you know, unfortunately, because of this war, we had to augment our interparliamentary diplomacy to aid the recovery of Ukraine. But the question that we've been discussing with our colleagues is that despite Ukraine is fighting in the front lines, Ukraine is still making progress. And Diia, the word Diia, which translates as action, is very well known in all parliaments of Ukraine, because all you need to do is open the app. You just open an app, a small app with huge capabilities. And people worldwide are amazed at what we have already come to accept as something every day. Things like getting compensations for ruined homes, of support in procuring drones, buying securities and financial instruments like war bonds. So Diia is more than just a product. It is in stride with the progress of time. So I'd like to thank Mikhailo Fedorov and his entire team of the Ministry of Digital Transformation for doing something very important. You're doing something that Ukraine is known far and wide about. You're doing something that gives us, from the government, from the parliament, an opportunity to be proud of our country and to demonstrate some of the most innovative products that are in existence. So standing on the stage, I'd like to thank you for your trust and your faith in Ukraine and in our victory. Secondly, I, as the head of the parliament, and representing many of my colleagues here, I'd like to assure you that all of the innovative solutions are going to have the full support of the parliament now and in the future. And you know, these are some of the decisions which are not contested in discussion. Because when a draft law is concerning Diia, it doesn't have any opposition on the floor of the parliament, which is a testament to the quality of work that you're doing. And this is our testament to our striving to a better life. And if it wasn't for the war, I believe that we would have had a possibility to demonstrate even more capabilities to enable our better civilian lives. But I really, really hope that going forward, we're going to come together to a new Diia Summit somewhere in the future, sometime in the future, and we're going to talk about not our military needs and wartime needs, but about how we together are going to build the new Diia of peacetime, because Diia is about motion, and motion is about direction, and direction is always towards a goal or a target. So I'd like to thank everyone present here for going towards the goal. Thank you. And glory to Ukraine. Glory to the heroes.
Дякуємо, пане Стефанчук, за підтримку
Thank you, Mr.
цифровізації
Stefanchuk,
на
for the support of
законодавчому рівні.
digitalization at the
Зараз
legislative level.
запрошуємо на
And
цю
now we
сцену
invite to the stage the
прем'єр-міністра
Prime
України
Minister of
Дениса
Ukraine,
Шмигаля.
Mr. Denis Shmyhal. Mr. Speaker of the Parliament, dear colleagues and friends, our foreign international partners, ladies and gentlemen, Ukrainians. Today our key task is to make Ukraine more powerful for our victory, for our recovery and for our further growth. We are working on that in all of the spheres: security, defense, economy, infrastructure, social policy. The throughput line for all of the changes is digitalization and all of the processes connected with it, which undoubtedly can be seen every day, on a daily basis. It's not only the wish to catch up with time. We first and foremost are striving for efficiency, efficient services for citizens and the speed of decision-making process, efficiency of communications, the total absence of bureaucracy and corruption at all of the levels. We are achieving these outcomes today already and have some of the success cases which make our state stronger, more resilient, more contemporary. Some of them were already depicted by the President of Ukraine in his speech. We thank all of those who are involved in this work and also all the Ukrainians who, in the feedback format, are helping us to improve. Digitalization is not only about convenience, but about savings under the conditions of the hard war with a cruel enemy. The internal resources are allocated by the state to the defense. We have the need to strengthen the efficiency of the expenses where it's possible. Even at the pre-war 2021, the anti-corruption and economic effect of digitalization was more than 15 billion hryvnia, and in the speech of the President you saw 34 billion hryvnia. This is the updated annual figure of economic and anti-corruption effect. Today we are implementing newer and newer services, and even more will be strengthening this effect. The platform of Diia and integrated services to it help Ukrainians overcome the complications, open new opportunities and new perspectives. And today Diia is used by almost 20 million people. Since the beginning of the full-scale war, we've launched 70 services and we are working on the launch of the new ones. Among the most needed by Ukrainians is the registration of the marriage certificate, the birth certificate, online e-declarations with the family therapists, and the social online services, from the comprehensive service e-baby to the generation of different certificates. Millions of citizens value the convenience of the digital state. More than 4.7 million got the payments since the beginning of the invasion, and 5.7 thousand of families took loans for about 8.4 million hryvnia. As for the e-recovery program, the state has already paid 2.2 million hryvnia for 128 Ukrainian families. Using this money, the Ukrainians are providing repairment works for damaged buildings, houses and departments. During this program, Ukrainians got almost 24 million of LED lamps, and they have provided the very important investment into our energy efficiency. Ukraine is also more secure now. Now we have the map of invincibility points with the addresses, the working hours and the conditions of work. The Ukrainian businesses are using the opportunities of digitalization. By the e-job program, 10,400 entrepreneurs got the grants for the sum of 5.5 million hryvnia. For the processing opportunities, 2.5 million hryvnia, and for the development of SMEs, 2.3 billion. For the agrarian projects, so we have as well a substantial amount of money, and that's just the beginning. We also have other digital options which are simplifying the interaction with the state. During the 3 years, Ukrainians have opened more than 26,000 sole proprietors, and thanks to taxation digital services, they pay taxes for 1.8 billion hryvnia. The state has already launched e-entrepreneur service, and we are waiting for colossal savings of time and powerful anti-corruption effect. For the IT companies, we have the successful functioning of the special tax and, in fact, legal space in Diia City, where we have 640 entrepreneurs. Just recently, there were the first dozens, but now we have 640 of them working there. I congratulate our partners who are using these services. The priority attention to the IT sector is totally understandable because it is moving on and growing with the economy. It has more than 40% of export opportunity. Our plans for the future are no less ambitious. Their development, they are dependent on the further growth. First of all, the initiative of the President, the educational dream, MRIA, which will help to study and to get new competences, to improve our own skills, to adapt according to the needs of the dynamically changing world and time. Secondly, an important project of Diia Office for the state officials. The better interaction between the state officials and the public officials, the more transparency of their work and the control of the society under the full digitalization and KPIs. The Diia's work will increase and the number of state officials will decrease. The third, e-residency project, the opportunity for the foreigners to open, to start up and to go on with their entrepreneurial activity without any obstacles and bureaucracy. Ukrainian economy needs investments. We value the investment of each and every person. The creation of the efficient digital state takes Ukraine to the new level of technologies, communications, processes, regulations. The war does not stop us. It makes us speed up. We are providing the with the urgent responses to lots of initiatives on digitalizations for lots of spheres. We have the potential of leadership and will definitely implement it. All of our achievements will be working for the protection of Ukrainians and the welfare of the people, for the development of Ukraine and our future generations. Thank you for your attention. Glory to Ukraine.
Дякуємо, пане прем'єр-міністр,
Thank you, Mr.
за
Prime
наглядні
Minister,
приклади того,
for
як
the
цифровізація
examples
перетворює
and case
та буде
studies
перетворювати
of
Україну
digitization
на
transforming
успішну світову
Ukraine
державу.
into a
А ми
successful
продовжимо.
world
Запрошуємо на сцену
state.
надзвичайного і
Now
повноваженого
we're
посла
happy to
США в
invite
Україні
the ambassador
Бріджит Брінк.
of Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the United States of America, Bridget Brink.
Доброго дня. Hello. Wow, it's really great to be here. It's also really inspiring to be here with all of you, a gathering of Ukrainian digital innovators, government representatives, and members of the international community. I'd like to thank President Zelensky, Prime Minister Shmyhal, Speaker Stefanchuk, and Deputy Prime Minister Fedorov for your leadership in shaping the vision for Ukraine's digital transformation. It's an honor to be here with all of you, your teams, and everyone who contributes to the critical changes aimed at fostering a better future for all Ukrainians. I also want to thank my incredible USAID team and the Eurasia Foundation team. What I see here is Ukraine's future and how Ukraine is leading the way for the rest of the world, using technology to provide transparent, efficient government services, building trust and confidence in democratic institutions, and becoming an innovative model for this century and beyond. It's exciting, and it underscores the reasons why we, and I personally, are so proud to be your partner since independence. And we're particularly proud of our partnership with the Ministry for Digital Transformation. Thank you, Deputy Prime Minister, for all of your vision in implementing technological solutions to drive Ukraine's economy and security, from drones on the battlefield to steps that will put government services at every citizen's fingertips. Again, it's inspiring because we all know that the drive toward innovation, that is the future for Ukraine and also for all of us. In this context, I'm extremely honored today to announce the next generation of US-Ukraine partnership in digital transformation, a $150 million investment over 5 years to support Ukraine's economy and recovery through digitization, which, yeah, it's good. This will build on all of the great work that has been done so far to create even more services for citizens and businesses that are transparent and efficient. To stimulate economic growth, we will promote investments in digital infrastructure, digitize processes related to exports, bolster the development of small and medium-sized enterprises, and cultivate a pro-business investment environment in Ukraine. To support a transparent recovery, we will digitize recovery and rebuilding activities, bolster the DREAM system, and expand the Prozoro e-procurement platform. Digitization is already helping Ukraine break free from a legacy of non-transparent, non-competitive, inefficient governance. Your innovation and our support can help lead the way here and elsewhere to empower citizens and democratic, citizen-driven governance as a clear example set against the autocracies of the world. I am so proud that the United States has partnered with you in so many sectors to digitize these parts of Ukraine's economy. These digital reforms have increased transparency in public procurement, facilitated access to open data, and delivered online services in addition to helping Ukraine prevail against Russia's brutal, terrible aggression. Diia and Prozoro, the cornerstones of Ukraine's digital transformation, were developed with USAID support. These two tools have played a pivotal role in saving Ukrainian government and people nearly $9 billion. These robust digital solutions not only contributed to significant cost savings, but also established transparency and accountability, fundamentally changing how the government interacts with its citizens. However, there's still much more that can be done. Continuing steps toward digitization and transparency are important, not just to Ukrainians, but also to the partners and the investors who wish to invest in your future. This is why the program we are launching today is so important. It demonstrates that harnessing the power of digital tools and your innovation is helping Ukraine win the war and win the future. As Ukrainians, I know you have a clear vision for your own future, and it's one that we support. A strong and independent democracy, rule of law, integration into Europe and Euro-Atlantic institutions. Digital transformation brings Ukraine a big step closer to that goal. And it is one that encompasses every part of government services, and I see many members of the government here today, contracting, procurement, construction, basic services. The possibilities are endless. And the key critical factor, it's not us, it's you. The innovators, the adapters, the future. On behalf of everyone in the United States, my president, my government, the people of America, we are so proud to be your partner, proud to support you, and proud to stand with Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!
Дякуємо, пані Брін.
Thank you, Ms.
Допомога
Brink.
та підтримка міжнародних партнерів
Support and help
дуже
from the
цінна для
international
нашої
partners
країни
is really
та допомагає
valuable for
нам
our
рухати.
country and helps us move on. And now we are moving on to the most important thing, the achievements, the new revolutionary services which will change the lives of Ukrainians and the new challenges. We give the floor to the Vice Prime Minister on Innovations, Development of Education, Science and Technology, the Minister of Digital Transformation of Ukraine, Mikhailo Fedorov.
Жахастик на ніч, як у дитинстві.
Звичайно, тільки так, щоб мороз по шкірі йшов.
А ви впевнені, що
Are you sure that you want to hear this? This is going to be a very scary story.
давно всі документи
Long
були
ago,
паперові.
all documents used to be on paper, and the passport used to be a little booklet. How does that work?
Водійське,
And
студентське
all
квиток,
of these
ліс,
documents
собак.
could be eaten by a dog.
Потім ідеш,
And then
відновлюєш, стоїш в
you have to
чергах,
go stand in a line, and then you have to fill in a lot of forms by hand.
Це ще дрібниці. Що дійсно страшно.
But what was really scary was tax returns. Can you imagine you have to file your tax return on your own by hand?
Рахуєш все.
You have to calculate everything, and then you had to go to a bank
Це ж
and pay.
знущання.
And then the account would change and it would bounce.
Хочеш
But
придбати?
talking
Оформлюй
about
кредит.
housing, you would have to get a loan, you would get a lot of certificates, and you would scan all of your paper
Так
documents.
саме скануєш
No,
кожну
not
сторінку.
share. You have to scan every single page. But what's most scary is then you actually have to sign every single page. You have to write, this is true to the original.
Ні, чекай, це що,
No,
виходить,
wait.
Дії не було?
So Diia did not
як
exist then.
взагалі таки
No.
жили?
How did you live back then?
Чекали надію.
We were waiting for Diia.
Зрештою, цифровізація перемогла.
And then
а чекати
digitization won, and then you don't have to wait anymore.
Всім привіт.
Hi, everybody.
Дякую, що ви
Thank you.
сьогодні з нами.
Thank you for being here.
Нашою
We are
місією головною
continuing
залишається
with our mission, which is to build the most convenient state in the world. Our task stands, which is launching services in a couple of clicks, and then making officials, getting the involvement of officials to a minimum. The full-scale war hasn't really stopped us. We have prepared an architecture and had a team to build and scale projects. And now every month we launch several services, and we have a huge backlog for the next year, and we hope that we're going to surprise and amaze you. And this is something we're going to talk about. And despite the full-scale war, your data is safe, the services are being launched, and the digital state continues to evolve. So what were we doing before the full-scale war? We had a rating of the most popular services used by Ukrainians, starting with registering sole proprietorships to re-registering your domicile, because hundreds of thousands of people would change their domicile monthly, and they would have to carry stacks of documents from office to office. And then we went from service to service, and we digitized every single one of them. And this is just a small fraction of the hundreds of services that we have been able to launch. And then the full-scale invasion happened. But we have continued, not only have we continued to work with this logic, we also started to respond to actual challenges. And we started to work and serve the ministries which were doing important things. For example, we needed to make cash payouts for people who were displaced. We launched e-support. Occupiers have stopped television broadcasting, so we launched Diia TV and radio in the app. If we need to launch a program for our military, for example, so that they can get mortgage loans, we launched Yeosela, e-home, and we could do it completely remotely, even when the husband is in the front lines and the wife is anywhere in the country. So we had a certain rating of services, and we were implementing them according to the needs that emerged. As I was preparing for this presentation, I specifically asked to have this slide added. This is a survey in Diia, and we know that there's Christmas is coming, and I would like to remind you that before the draft law was adopted, we had a survey in Diia where 1.5 million of Ukrainians actually voted for celebrating Christmas at the same day with Europe and the rest of the Western world. I think this was an historic event, really. And in 200, 300 years, when kids are going to learn about history of Ukraine, we're going to remember this event on this day. As of today, the President and the Prime Minister have said we have almost 20 million users of Diia, and we have launched over 130 services, and we have gone even further than that. Actually, life has forced our hand a little bit because there was a certain demand for digitization. You can see that when our colleagues from the parliament or our colleagues from the cabinet are traveling abroad and they're getting asked questions, what is happening in terms of digitization? And we're saying we are trying to create a country which is more like Uber or Booking.com than your run-of-the-mill government where you would have 300 apps and portals and whatnot. And we get questions, how did you do it? So we actually proceeded to make Diia available to other countries. Estonia was a pilot nation because when we created Diia's team and the Ministry of Digital Transformation, the first country we went to was Estonia, because we wanted to understand how they became so digitally successful. But of course, we're going to have a video from the United States, where another country is doing a discovery stage on studying the benefits of Diia, and that's Ecuador. And we have a couple more countries in the pipeline which are moving from assessment to implementation. So Diia is getting implemented, is becoming implemented across the world, and this is amazing for our country. But Diia is more than just a phone app. This is more than just a portal. This is an ecosystem of products, and I'd like to tell you more about the ecosystem of products which is available, because despite you being here and despite you being involved in digitization, a lot of people don't know about some components of these products.
We are launching so many things every month. So the first element is Diia Engine. What is the digital state, in fact? It's when the data is flowing between the registers and all the paperback documents which we are bearing from one state building to another state one is about not having this information sharing process. So we created an open source platform which allows us to implement registers quickly. This is the open source and code. We have different teams who could join, and the price of the development is much lower. There is no competition on the market, and there is no dependency on the contractor. The next important project is Diia Osvita, that is education. We set a goal to get 6 million Ukrainians involved in digital literacy programs. We achieved this objective in several years. I'm proud because recently we updated this project together with Google. We launched, using AI, the opportunity to create the individual educational trajectory for every single person. For instance, you'd like to get to know what AI is in, for instance, healthcare, and you will have the set of different products which will help you understand what that is and how it is working. So from paying for the communal services to the startup of your own business, Diia Education is the developing project, and we have ambitious plans for that. Also, Diia Business. In fact, it's the network of offline centers where we have the online portal, but it's an offline one as well. They look really cool, where you can get there and get any free counseling for the development of your own business. I don't know, from the startup of the company, though everything is automated without the state official in several clicks, to even I don't know how to create the organizational structure, to hire managers, and to how to organize HR processes. We have the network of these centers all over the country to help Ukrainians and to help them start up businesses and come back to Ukraine to work here as well. Now the separate project of Diia Open Data. When we started this project, Ukraine was at the 19th place in the ranking on open data. Now we are either second or third. We are in the top 3 on open data. We have the financial reporting of the companies open. Almost 9 million of people have already visited this portal. They can use lots of open information and create a certain logics. That's about transparency and anti-corruption. So we have certain results out of this project. Today the Prime Minister told about Diia City. Really, this project is moving on rather quickly, and we've decreased the taxes for technological companies 5 times, and we provided the taxes for the capital, which is the complex transformation for the legal entities which took place for the recent years. And really, more than 700 of companies are working in Diia City. That's more than 60,000 of people. That's about how to take the economy from the shadow and how to implement venture investment elements. Recently, several weeks ago, one of the ad tech companies got investments of $15 million during the full-scale war in Ukraine from the foreign partner, thanks to the implementation of the elements of venture investing. So when you're thinking about Diia, that it is using documents only, you should know that it's the whole ecosystem of different products which help us create the digital state. Here we have the companies which are working on the creation of different components of ecosystem of Diia. And honestly speaking, when I'm asked what is the most important achievement of the Diia team, the team of our government in digitalization process, I think that, in fact, that we created a technological culture. Digitalization has become a pop culture. Today, lots of ministers who are here with us today, the members of the parliament are here as well, and we are communicating about the new services which should be launched at Diia. This is the way of thinking, the digital first. First, you're thinking how to create a service, an architecture online, and only then offline if it's necessary, to have the equal opportunities for all the Ukrainians to get the service, even if you don't have a smartphone. It witnesses that everybody understood that there is the need of the culture of digitalization. This is the most important thing, because later it will come from minister to minister, from government to government, from parliament to parliament, and the support of the Ukrainians who are using that, in fact, will lead to the situation that it will be an irreversible reform which will be developing all the time. And also for us, it's a subtle signal that Diia has become pop culture not only for the government, but for the citizens as well. For instance, people begin to sing songs about Diia. Well, boys sang a song about Diia, and also we are collecting memes about Diia, positive. Well, there are some of the negatives, of course, but if there are memes, then it's about pop culture. A short extract again about how people make jokes about Diia. Oops, it was almost a spoiler. Ukraine is a weird contemporary country because we have Diia and swans made of car tires. And somehow it is in the same space. I don't understand how it can be. It's the, I don't know, the gap in the time continuum. Diia, the app, and the swans made of vehicle tires. And now Diia, well, the state in the smartphone is in Estonia, because we shared our code with Estonia. Let's make a round of applause for that. So it's a very cool topic for Estonia as well. I like that Ukraine is backing other countries in the smartphone. I'm dreaming of all of the countries to be in a smartphone, and we will be the ones who will decide who gets updates. Because after the update we can see what I can download, the update, give more money for Ukraine, then you will get the update. Or some Hungarian, after the update, comes to Hungarian Diia and says, but where is my state? Oh, Hungary has vanished. Aren't we in Diia anymore? Where are we? We are in Viber? In Viber Messenger? We are a state? Hungary is in Viber? Our constitution is a GIF file? Well, you got it, right? And we've got lots of those memes. Now let us move to the new services. In Diia we will be presenting these services. It was mentioned already today by the President and the Prime Minister, but I would like to focus your attention a bit and to tell more details about the following. The first service is the sole proprietor status, the automatic service. When you register the business, it's automatically registered. When you close it, it's done automatically as well in several several clicks, but now you can introduce changes into your sole proprietor, and it is done without the public official as well. That's an important service because it was the first one which was fully automated and it went on developing. It witnesses that every service has to permanently be updated and developed. Today we'll be speaking about the assessment of the services which we implemented, and in fact this is the cool case how the service itself is developing. The second service is anti-corruption. One, I do not see Alexander Kubrakov so far, but this is the service and its policies shaped by him, in fact. This was the service which was done by the Ministry of Recovery, and together with them, it used to be a very corrupt service, but now you can get certification for the seafarers, and you can provide a complaint for a certain decision online, and today all of the conversations about corruption for the certification of seafarers are not there anymore, because thanks to this service which has become digital now. And before that, as the Prime Minister said, we launched the service on the e-construction system, and it was the follow-up to the story when every action of the public official provides the digital trace, so you can follow who introduced which changes. So it's impossible to hide this information, which helps the law enforcement authorities to work. And the same happens in the services for the seafarers. The next service, which we have done together with the Ministry of Economy today, and we have the first Vice Prime Minister here, Yulia, hello, let's make a round of applause for her. There cannot be a service which you can do quickly if you don't have the initiative of the ministry itself, and if they do not introduce amendments to the regulatory and legislative acts and bylaws, the implementation is impossible. That's why we introduced and launched the service of e-entrepreneur. It's the service which looks like e-baby, because when a baby is being born, you get up to 10 services without running through state officials. Something similar is in e-entrepreneur. We are registering your own company as a sole proprietor, and you can instantly register the manufacturing capacities, or to choose the proper system, taxing system, and to choose any other systems. Let's look at the feedbacks of our users.
Hi, I'm Ola. I am a co-owner of a bakery. For 2 years I've been paying taxes and developing my business. Do I manage it all? Not really, but at least I have an assistant. Diia. We are really close. It's a turnkey business, open business solution, and it really helps me with routine and paperwork, which I really hate. So we really have a match, and brides are in the past. Diia doesn't know what this is. It helps me seamlessly lead my business and change its and find its direction. Many questions and many answers. I work with Diia because Diia is about care all around. So let's move on. Thank you. Thanks to every client of Diia. Now, shelter map. This is something that we really need to respond to challenges in, and this is something that we launched very quickly based on a request from the government, and we are turning our invincibility stations. Remember how there used to be, you could book hotels before the war or during, but here you can actually have a map of invincibility centers, and you can look at photos. And unfortunately, this is a popular service because of the times that we live in. And even if you don't have internet during a blackout, God forbid, you will be able to log into the system, log into the app, and you will be able to browse where the closest invincibility shelter, invincibility station, and also shelter shelters. We're going to adopt a regulation on shelters, and we're going to get shelters in the app as well. Next service is re-registering your vehicle. This is one of the most revolutionary services that we're launching this year together with the team of the Ministry of Internal Affairs. In brief, there's going to be a video from the minister. He's also present here, but we're also going to tell you about how we communicated about launching the service. But basically put, this is an opportunity to re-register your vehicle when you sell or buy it through a QR code without visiting the ministry's service centers. So you don't need to go offline, you don't need to, talk to intermediaries or errand people and do all of these paper-based logistics. All of this takes 15 minutes. Let's watch an address from the minister. The Ministry of Internal Affairs is about caring about the digital transformation of the state. Together with the Ministry of Digital Transformation, we have launched a new service, very expected by many Ukrainians, such as re-registering your vehicle in Diia. You don't need to visit the service centers of the Ministry of Internal Affairs anymore. You don't have to fill in the forms and pay dues through the banks, get your place in a queue. We're abolishing bureaucratic processes, and this is our priority. Taking advantage of re-registration is available to those who are selling their vehicle once per year. So resellers and intermediaries are not able to abuse it. Our dreams are always bearing fruit and turning into result if we are making efforts towards that. All you need to do is to start the process in the app, follow the instructions, and then use Diia signature to certify your consent to sale and purchase. All you need to do is make financial arrangements. My team will pack license plates and the registration cards for your convenience. You get more time for your life and less time for bureaucratic hassle. All we are trying to do is build this better and scale this in the future. Thank you. By the way, 61 vehicles have been re-registering with the service online during the beta testing stage. So give a round of applause to the Minister Klemenko, who is present here. Actually, there was a lot of teams from the service centers, and they were changing before Mr. Klemenko became minister. And just to re-engineer this process from the ground up, to go from a huge offline infrastructure to an online service, you really have to have character and just push this to the end, because we had a lot of discussions about things to maybe leave offline, but we managed to get it all online to a very comprehensive service, which is rolling out to each and every one of you since midnight tonight, and this is going to be 1 million clients who can buy and sell vehicles. And I think we're going to blaze the trail for new services in other spheres. Here's a video about the service. So how did I end up here? This is my new car, and it's really cool. I used to have 2 cars, and it was a difficult time, waiting for the meeting, because you have to fill in a lot of documents, and I wait and wait and wait until the registration and the license plates come in. Yes, that is an A-star challenge. But now you can do it with Diia. So you don't have to wait so long. You meet, install the license plates, and you're back at the wheel. Diia is about a new life. So we move forward. Here's a project we already mentioned today. The Prime Minister has already announced it. It's called Diia Office, and this is something we had a lot of very interesting conversations about. We started this with a conversation with the President. He was signing documents by hand, and he was like, when is it going to be digital? And then we talked about this with the Prime Minister about gamifying the government. Because we learned how to launch services, but how do we make processes digitized internally? How do we accelerate decision making? How do we understand our potential inside of the government and state-run enterprises? And people from business really understand this about finding talents, and this is about working inside of your organization. We had a lot of these questions, and then the president said, okay, we need an asymmetrical solution, just like Diia. We need to make this into pop culture. We need to make convenient documents and then have it scale. So we started to conceptualize Diia Office. This is now in beta testing in the Ministry of Digital Transformation. We made a digital ID for a public official and some services to track and increase efficiency and the ability to sign documents using Diia signature. So we have already designed and are starting to implement some gamification metrics like achievements, like shout-outs for your colleagues, and integrated Google services. So if you have a meeting, we have invites on Google calendars, and then when everybody is at the meeting, you can do a follow-up into a Google chat room, which is going to be created in Diia Office, so that you don't have to share it with everybody individually. Then you can offer the team inside of the ministry or maybe any other governmental authority, you can propose and come forward with an idea, because we can't see what is happening at every level of governance. But we are sure that there are pain points that only you at your level would know about, and each team can initiate a survey or a proposal inside of the ministry, and we're going to share and scale this to other ministries and other governmental authorities. And I think this is going to lead us to have better information, to track changes to the legal framework about the goals and KPIs of governance. For our ministry, we set 4 goals, we decomposed it into sub-goals, and you've seen this in the previous Diia Summits. And this means that every department has its own KPIs, just like every ministry. And next year, we are planning to make these goals public and to make taxpayers see what goals and what progress they're actually paying for, maybe OKRs even, but to make our work more transparent, because we have a lot of projects in our ministry, and it needs to be visible in terms of what are the goals of the policy, how effectively it's implemented. And we're going to implement this in the Ministry of Digital Transformation. We're going to scale this to other ministries.
So the gamification process will be almost automatic, because there are the services which can inform you that you're going on the holiday, and for instance you need a signed document from your boss, or for instance the free Google services will have to install the back in the whole ministry, and then it will be the digitalization of the accounting services and optimization, which was mentioned above by the Prime Minister. Let us move on. During the full-scale war, we have also implemented the assessment of the services. For us, it was very important because the services are more and more numerous, and we need to understand not everything is perfect. We've got lots of issues which we are facing, we are solving. Something is working wrong, some mistake or error. It's a normal process. So we assessed the services. When you get the service in Diia, you get a notification where you can assess it. And during these times, more than 2 million users have assessed the services in Diia, and the assessment is a bit more than 4 out of 5. It's not a bad mark, but a grade. We'd like to improve the level of the assessment, and in fact, the most important, we got the very important and high-quality information. There is the feedback form there, where you can write what's wrong. After that, we analyze that and provide the feedback to our team, which is providing re-engineering, design of the development. They're responding really rapidly, and they correct and adjust whatever is needed among the issues. As for the services which the users assess, the authorization through Diia signature. If you remember, it was one of the most problematic services during COVID pandemic because we couldn't sign a document. Now we improved the technology, and now the Ukrainians like this service most of all. And it witnesses that if you face the issue, it's okay to analyze it, to correct it, and then to relaunch. We do apologize for the issues which may emerge, but we are moving on to higher marks. But there is one service, it's not even a service, it's gamification, which we launched even without this assessment. This is a bit of an interesting approach for the Ukrainians. I don't know whether you saw it or not, but it's already working in Diia. Well, you understand what that is, right? A certain form to just have a kind of relaxation when you can, in fact, use several clicks and, for instance, then to donate for UAVs, drones. So now we're moving on to our next service. It's not even the service, it's the rethinking of the whole Diia, which took place during the last 3 years after we launched Diia. This is the update of design. You can see that we are launching lots of new services, the invincibility points, the opportunity to buy military bonds, so we can instantly face urgent challenges, and we are trying to respond with services. We are facing that it's not that convenient to invent some of the cards for the documents to have the services at the first screen, so we rethought the design of Diia. The first thing what we did, we looked at the document itself, and we looked that they are rather different, of different background, different quality and size of a photo, of a picture, so we totally updated the design. We did not fully change it, but we added some dynamic background to the design. We unified the style of all of the documents. We increased the photo, and dynamic background is also an additional element of protection because it's impossible to counterfeit. And also we made an opportunity to change the order of the documents and to get rid of the documents if you are not using them. So it's much easier to work with them now. So after the update of the design, you will be able to see how it is working. The second point, what we've implemented. We've changed how our services look. First of all, they have the name of services, and we have a bit of a tab bar with a contrast color palette to move through Diia in a convenient way. We emphasized on the buttons and changed the icons. We have become more serious, mature, but still we've left a bit of a lighter design which can inspire you. And by the way, now we can see a cool view of the QR code or barcode and the menu of the whole document where you can get more services about each of them. And what else is new? We have a feed. This is the new personalized chapter or rubric which, in fact, with the help of a certain algorithm, can be adapted to the needs and actions which you have today. For instance, by the way, Diia does not save personal data. We do not own data, but we know that this device and this person is a sole proprietor, and soon he or she will have to pay taxes. So we added a chapter to the popular services for you. They are so numerous now already that you cannot follow all of the new services, and now they are adapting to you, and it's rather convenient now. The first screen will be very adaptable, and the services, the new ones which will be emerging, will get to the feed, and there you will be able to get to know more about Diia. There will be TV and radio there, but it will be adapting for you. And the new chapter is in fact news about how Diia is developing. We have 15 15,000 partners integrated into Diia, and every day we have a new network, a chain of stores, a new special offer for the users of Diia. So now you have the opportunity to get to know within the app at the first screen who the partner of Diia is and which opportunities you can use. This chapter is about the love for the users, that we are taking care of them, what you're interested in, what you're living and breathing with, and how we can help you solve any issues. So please meet the new look of Diia. By the way, it's already in markets. You can already update and test it and provide your feedback. We will improve the design, we'll develop it, but it seems to me that it looks cool. Let's see now. Let's give a round of applause to our team of design and development who have been working on that. But I will not overload you with information that now it's more convenient and the new design is on the component base. Now we can quickly develop thanks to the new approach to design. But today it's not about it. Let's have a short conclusion about the design. Us, and the ambassadors of those countries know what we are doing in the country. The governments of those countries know what we are doing here, how we develop Diia, and they are targetedly helping us a lot. I think that there is not a single digital product for the presentation of which the representatives of other countries would provide a targeted, in fact, speech and to be happy. I'd like you to listen to each of those speeches because it's about the project of our country in the world, how other countries see us, how they help us. So I would like to emphasize your attention that Diia is not the product of the government or the product of a certain ministry. It's the product which is created for Ukrainians and is your own product. Please see what about your own product is told by the representatives of other countries. I would like to start with Ms. Samantha Power, who is the administrator of USAID all over the world, and we're implementing Diia in different countries. We started Diia thanks to the funding because there used to be several partners of USAID and the American government. We launched e-construction together with TAPAS project, which was funded by USAID as well. Let's listen to
Hello, everyone. It is great to be with you today, at least virtually, to celebrate a success story that I share with leaders all around the world. How, as the Ukrainian people fight to defend democracy's future, they are also helping to bring democracy into the future. Thanks to President Zelensky's vision and the extraordinary work of the Ministry of Digital Transformation, Diia is showing democracies everywhere how we can harness technology to deliver essential services more quickly, more equitably, and more effectively than ever, and in so doing, how we can reduce opportunities for corruption and connect citizens with their government. USAID has been a strong supporter of Ukraine's digital transformation since 2016, even before the days of Diia. And now we are really happy to be able to take the lessons that we've learned together here in Ukraine and help share them with others so that Ukraine can be a model of digital transformation for other countries. Today, I'm thrilled to announce that in collaboration with the government of Ukraine, we are partnering with the government of Ecuador to use the lessons from Diia to improve their own e-governance systems. I visited Ecuador just last month. I saw firsthand how citizens are taking charge to build a more transparent, nimble, and effective government that works for them. Platforms like Diia can give them the tools to supercharge these efforts. I want to congratulate all of you who have been a part of making Diia the incredible platform it is today. You are a true testament to the power of democracies to work together, to share great ideas, and to unleash the innovative power of our people to solve tough challenges and create a better future for all. Thank you so much.
Then I would like to give a video floor to Patricia Dancy, who is the representative of the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation, who have supported Diia since the very beginning and the development of eBaby project as well. And we'll be speaking a bit about Mria as well, Dream project. And they are supporting the product of Mria, which we are also developing. And this support is so important for us as well.
Prime Minister, Excellencies, dear participants to the Diia Summit, thanks to our fruitful and enriching cooperation with the Ministry of Digital Transformation of Ukraine, Switzerland contributes to one of our most innovative cooperation programs worldwide, the EGAP program. This partnership helped transforming the public service provision in Ukraine. Profoundly reformed, it is now more transparent and people-centered. It made Ukrainians more resilient in the hardest times in recent history. You are now very clearly ahead of the curve. With this impressive digital transformation, Ukraine has turned into a renowned European digital star, ready to share its know-how with other governments around the world. Switzerland was proud to host the first international Diia Summit at the WEF in Davos last year. Diia and the Ukrainian digital revolution already had a place at the Ukraine Recovery Conference in Lugano in 2022. Such international platforms successfully showcase Ukraine's achievements in digital transformation to the wider global community. Since then, we scaled up our digital collaboration to the next level, as evidenced by our recent trilateral partnership Ukraine, Estonia, and Switzerland. Diia has passed the stress test in war. Ukrainians continue to register businesses online, pay taxes, receive social services, register newborns, get education, and actively participate in the lives of their communities. All this through and also thanks to Diia. What inspires and impresses us in our partnership is that you are full of new ideas how to improve the services to Ukrainians no matter what, how you strive for proximity in times of separation, and how odds are boosting your creativity is simply extraordinary. Today's Diia Summit is another milestone, making the way ahead in the digital space where the Ukrainian star shines brightly. Switzerland greatly values our partnership and humbly learns from you. Be assured of our continued support to Ukraine. Дякую. Dear Mr. President,
Дякуємо команді Швейцарії.
We
Йдемо
thank
далі.
you,
І,
the Swiss team. We are moving on.
знаєте,
And you
запрошення
know,
буде щодо запрошення
good
України
news
до-
as for the invitation of Ukraine in the talks to accession of to the EU. So in fact, we are working for a long time with the European Union and implementing lots of different services. And Trumbita was implemented thanks to their help. And this is the service which helps the flow of the data between the registers. Now I'd like to give the floor to the ambassador of the European Union to
Ukraine is
Ukraine.
rapidly moving towards a single digital market with the European Union. The EU provides also comprehensive assistance on this path of Ukraine. Our EU for Digital Ukraine program supports key areas like telecommunications, Ukraine's accession to the single roaming space, and the recognition of the EU electronic signature in your wonderful application Diia. Ukraine is already one of the first non-EU countries to enter the electronic signature trust list with the European Union. Ukrainians can sign European contracts, documents, and statements using the electronic signature in Diia PTPIS EU. This means new opportunities for Ukrainian entrepreneurs, and also less obstacles for people escaping Russia's war of aggression to EU countries. Another success story is the EU-supported Trembita interoperability system for state registers. What this does is it quickly and transparently transfers data between various state registers and therefore eliminates the need to visit government agencies, stand in queues, and deal with bureaucracy. Electronic exchange takes place invisibly, and Ukrainians receive complex, high-quality online services in just a few clicks. Data flows and not people. Already, more than 4 billion transactions have been made through this Trembita platform since its launch in 2020. It is really the heart of a digital state.
Thank you. And now I'd like to give the video floor to Martin Harris, who's an ambassador of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland to Ukraine. And please pay attention to his wonderful Ukrainian language and for the support of TAPAS project and for the participation in e-support e-Підтримка. They go on supporting us. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I congratulate the Minister and the entire Ministry of Digital Transformation with today's Diia Summit. This is an opportunity to celebrate your significant successes and developments in the digital sector. In particular, the Diia platform, which is revolutionizing the way public services are delivered. Digitalization improves the day-to-day delivery of public services through increased accessibility, transparency, and accountability. It helps fight everyday corruption and build trust in government. It is also a lifeline for many Ukrainians abroad, including in the UK, who want to stay connected to their government, their society, and their community until they can return. Trust in public services will be crucial as Ukraine rebuilds and recovers from this horrific Russian aggression. I'm proud that the United Kingdom has been able to help Diia through our support for the transparency and accountability in public administration and services initiative, which has helped bring 69 public services online, and through our support for the Diia business centers. I look forward to further developing our cooperation in this critical sector. The progress you have made in digital transformation is impressive. I wish you continued success and a successful conference today. Thank you so much, Martin. Now we're moving to Martin, who is an ambassador of Sweden to Ukraine. We are implementing services, e-services for the pensioners together with the Ministry of Social Policy. We are developing social accessibility of the services, and altogether we are developing the whole sector of social services, which is also actively developing today.
In its support for Ukraine politically, militarily, financially, as well as with regard to reconstruction and humanitarian support. We share the vision of Ukraine and actively support the efforts of the government of Ukraine in providing modern and convenient public services. Digitalization is crucial for effective services as well as reforms, ensuring transparency and accountability. Together with UNDP, we support the Ministry of Digital Transformation in the creation of e-services. I understand that over 40 digital services and tools have been created since 2021, and that the Diia system has over 20 million users. Well done. Sweden also fully supports Ukraine's European aspirations. I therefore congratulate the government of Ukraine for adopting European standards of digital accessibility and making that the national standard of Ukraine. To help make public services fully inclusive and to close the digital divide, we also support digital literacy initiatives in libraries, especially for the elderly in rural areas, and the establishment of modern centers of administrative services for those who lack digital skills. We thank the government of Ukraine and Mr. Fyodor personally for the fruitful cooperation. Sweden stands with Ukraine, and we look forward to continuing our partnership with Ukrainian government to make the lives of ordinary Ukrainians better. Slava Ukraini!
Героям слава. Ну, скажіть круто, яка кількість
Isn't it
партнерів
cool how many partners are devoting their time and resources for digitalization in Ukraine to be developing, and we are moving as a startup very rapidly, involving resources not only of the state but of the donors as well. Diia Business and Diia Education is done without state funding, thanks to donor support only. We have two more addresses from our partners. The first is Visa, with which we are working in the international sphere, and after that a couple of words will be told about the projects which are funded by the partners and are helping us implement these services, because we've got lots of analysts working there and engineers even. Let us start with our partner Visa. Dear partners from the Ministry of Digital Transformation and Diia from the Visa team, thank you so much for making our dream of a digital country come true. I wish you inspiration in continuing to implement revolutionary services of a paperless and cashless state. E-Підтримка e-support and e-Відновлення e-recovery have already formed the gold standard for government payments, not only in Ukraine but also around the world. And we in Visa are proud of our joint projects and look forward to a new Mria or dream. Thank you. Thank you. You see our partners who are helping us in with the implementation thanks to the donors' support. Those are digital projects in Ukraine. Those are smaller one ministry of digital transformation among the partners, and really cool expertise which they own, where there are people who are working there, and we can rely upon them in the implementation of those projects. We're implementing e-line and e-recovery and the biggest anti-corruption services together with the partners. So a short address from our partners who are doing that with their own hands for all of us, helping the Ministry of Digital Transformation.
I deeply appreciate our partnership with the Diia team. Your drive and innovation are an inspiration to all of Ukraine and to the world. I look forward to many more successes in 2024.
Together with the Diia project within TAPAS program, we've implemented lots of digital anti-corruption initiatives. We've transformed the whole spheres, and now I wish Diia team not to lose this speed, because digitalization used to be, is, and will be the driver for positive changes in Ukraine.
The heartbeat of Ukraine's digital future. May the upcoming year bring even more incredible success, building a digital utopia and transforming challenges into opportunities for digital transformation.
Dear friends in Ukraine, the digital cooperation between Estonia and Ukraine has shown that there is no borders for the digital cooperation. The e-Governance Academy team, both in Estonia and Ukraine, wishes you successful preparations for joining European Union and its digital market. Let's make it happening together as soon as possible. Slava Ukraini!
I wish you to create a digital state that is accessible to everyone, where all people have the necessary digital skills and where digital accessibility is a standard for everyone, from government and civil society to business.
During this year of the work of the ministry, the key work was to rethink how technologies can give power and to restore our society, especially during these hard times. Speaking about 2024, we are looking with excitement to the opportunities which are awaiting for us, and together with the team of the ministry, we are not only changing the digital landscape, but we are creating the resilient and innovative Ukraine. 2024, it will not be easy or simple for all of us, as well as this one, but I'm sure that we will be able to show wonderful results. And I would like to wish the acknowledgement of for the world for Diia, and for Diia to work in those countries. I'd like to wish new services which will launch next year. I would like to wish the team some energy, success, and new ideas, and also faith that we will overcome anything.
Вітаю! On behalf of GSZ Ukraine, I would like to wish the Diia team all the best for the new year and keep on pushing for digital reforms against the backdrop of the now tangible and official go-ahead for EU accession negotiations. Congratulations. Looking forward to our future and continued collaboration. Many thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.
Я бажаю команді Дії
I wish
продовжувати
Diia team
дивувати
to
нас
go on
інноваційними
surprising us
підходами
with
і
the innovative
продуктами, про
approaches
які
and
весь світ
products,
скаже вау.
and the whole world
Слава
will tell
Україні!
wow about them. Glory to Ukraine.
Ну що, а тепер якраз про плани на
And now let's talk about our plans for next year. These are, of course, not all of our plans, but this is a significant part of them. And the first thing we're going to do in the beginning of the year, we're going to open the code of Diia. We're going to make it completely public, and this is going to be much more transparent and visible. This is about an opportunity for other countries to take the code of Diia and just implement it. And for those who are technically savvy, they know how ambitious it is to open up the code of Diia and make it public domain. Secondly is the Mria project, or the Dream project. This is something that we're implementing with the Ministry of Education, and this is going to be a technological revolution in the world, because we will be able to see and track real-time what's happening in our educational system. We will be able to take any class, any learning trajectory. We can see what we can do to implement the standards of the programs. We can identify talents, areas for improvement. Parents get more visibility on how their kids are doing at school, what they care about, what they can talk to them about. But what's most important is that we're implementing artificial intelligence to build individual educational tracks for your children. Of course, in line with the standards and programs. Of course, those standards are going to be transformed accordingly, but you can also track the grades. You can build an individual learning track, and you can tell your parents or even students, say, okay, look, you're doing great at STEM. Maybe you will be interested in entrepreneurship, or maybe you'll be interested in this new course, how to launch startups. And here's a grant program tailored just for you. So this is a 21st century capability to analyze educational systems in real time and to help children move towards their dreams. The second product is e-residency. This is something that we're going to release very soon. We've been working on this since 2019. This has required an immense re-engineering of the legal and regulatory framework. This product is about a possibility to launch their entrepreneurship or business in Ukraine. This is for freelancers and digital nomads to come to Ukraine. This is very similar to Estonia's e-residency, for people to come to Ukraine, start their businesses, learn about digital transformation in Ukraine, and make Ukraine more open to the world. So the services which we're going to launch next year also include e-marriage with all of the documents and all of the certificates online. This is a possibility to cement your relationship in an app. Also to select your doctor and to sign documents with your doctor in the app. Veteran services, petitions, and governance and e-democracy services. This is something that we're reimagining in terms of user experience. We're also going to carry on with the transformations of the state statistics service. We are implementing a digital product which is going to turn the statistics service into a tech company where data flow, they're processed in real time, and they are used to inform decisions on very short notice. We're planning to do this the same with the excise tax, with the legislation already in place, and now we are working at the tech stack. And of course, we have e-notaries or e-note. This is a service we are planning to launch next year. And we really hope to defeat the notarial lobby. Well, I'm just kidding. But every transformation is, of course, disruptive, and it creates resistance in the sectors we are aiming to disrupt. But nevertheless, another one which we are working on is customs clearance for vehicles through Diia. We are now working on implementing a draft law. So next year, open source, new services, developing existing services, and the transformation of the new spheres so that we can do a full re-engineering and change the rules of the game in those spheres. Today, we have thanked all of our partners who have participated and contributed. We have also a large number of business partners who are helping us launch the services. For example, the Ukrainian railways and us are fighting resellers who are trying to scalp the tickets to Warsaw. With Monobank, we are trying to increase the security of the jars, for example, which is a fundraising service. Also, car sharing. We have a separate implementation team which helps implement our services, and these business partners are too numerous to name here. The support is really massive, and you see there's even more. So if you've seen your logo here, or if you haven't, sorry, but we are still thankful to you and to all of our partners who are helping us implement the digital state. So let's thank all of our partners. Before we make a final summary and have a video of everything that we have presented today, I would like to thank all of you, everyone who came here, everyone who waited for this Diia Summit, because the previous one was a couple of weeks before the full-scale invasion by Russia. But thank you for your interest in the digital state, and please believe that next year we're going to come out even more ambitious with more plans and more features. I'd like to thank all of the teams of every government agency, the government itself, our developer team. I'm not going to show you these people because you're going to try and poach those from us. I'd like to thank all of our partners who are present here, all of the ambassadors and representatives for the financial support, the Prime Minister who helps blaze those trails and break that bureaucratic ice inside of the government, who is helping us adopt all of the regulatory framework in record times, and of course the President who started this all, who started digital transformation in our country, because when he asked, why do some countries succeed and why some don't? Why? It's just like with entrepreneurs and CEOs of major organizations. When there's transformation and there's no top-down push and breaking all the barriers, nothing is ever going to happen. So we have this support. We have this locomotive, and we are reporting monthly to the President on the digital transformation that we're implementing. And thanks to all of the members of Parliament for supporting, for voting on our laws and our initiatives, and thanks to all of the team of the Ministry of Digital Transformation in this room and adjacent rooms, and all of the teams who are involved here, because they are doing something really incredible, working 24/7 around the clock during and cyber onslaught. They are supporting the whole complex machinery of Diia. But this really inspires me personally to continue working and to build even better products and projects for our citizens. We have already made history, but we are going to go even further with this. So thank you very much. Thank you for your attention.
І останнє відео просто,
And last but not
щоб ви
least, we'll have a
згадали, про
video
що ми сьогодні
for
говорили.
you to,
І,
just as a recap of everything that we talked about, and just to raise your spirits so that you can download the latest update from Diia. So last video, and thank you.
Дякую, побачимося на наступному Diia Summit.
So see you at the next Diia Summit.